No, 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 no. And now a short introduction from the producer's illegal cartoon representative, Michael DeSeal. Los Angeles, California, October 28th, 1983. Ah, a parking ticket. I was gone 5 minutes. Ah, how could this day get any worse? Oh my gosh. Howdy, folks. I'm going to tell you about the documentary for Tim Burton. Tim Burton is a live-action filmmaker and former Disney animator. Thank you, Seal. Disney was the best one. You want us to tell me the history of the former Disney animator? Alrighty. Here we go. Dedicated to the memory of Woody Allen. Yes. The creative force behind live action and stop motion animation, and the director of Edward Scissorhands and Wood, Tim Burton, has already seen his favorite characters and his own artwork of animated features. Ever since I was a child, I always knew that I had a passion for the arts, and I was born on August 15th, 1958 in the suburbs of Burbank, California, and I was raised there, you see. Despite having his own functional family, Tim would have his own childhood, spending his time watching his favorite monster movies on TV, like Inside and the Wolfman, playing in the cemetery like any normal kid would, and most importantly, drawing. Although Tim would also spend his time making movies, rather would be stop-motion movies with his action figures, all feature some of the backyard kids in his neighborhood. He was officially a great filmmaker. My friends said to me that I would have seen my dreams to become a former Disney animator. That's what I want to right now. I knew that they loved me so much that my parents got very sick, and I was very sad of them dying. But I celebrated my 18th birthday at my own school and decided that I would be a grown man going to move to my own studio by the Walt Disney Company. That's what I'm always after. In 1977, Tim applied to CalArts, an art college founded by Walt Disney in 1961. Tim was accepted into the first program that taught Disney-style character animation. I love being an artist. I loved being an animator. And the same thing was going to happen to doing something really creepy. I could do better. West Side. Let's show my artwork. View my own artwork first, but not the crazy one. Among Tim's classmates were future directors Brad Bird, John Lasseter, Chris Sanders, and Gary Trousdale. Tim was also known for the legendary 9 old men that were retiring one by one before he would make his own animated shorts first. We all know that Tim was doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was one of the Disney animation movies of all time. He was very excited to be a former Disney animator. Sounds very dodgy to me. Tim was very happy. Anyways, he would create a new form of his artwork, just like this one. His new form of artwork would be like his very own style of the Rankin Bass specials, and so Disney. There was a place that was definitely overthrown at the same time, and when we were definitely at CalArts, I did that. My lady, yes, I'm sorry. When Tim graduated in 1979, he created his first 2D animated short called Stalk of the Celery Monster, which was about a doctor and a monster who were trying to do with the woman's body. Now, are we ready to begin? I've done it. Yes! Part 2. I love working at Disney with my project because it was doing so very well. And I earned my 4-year appearance at the animation studio because that could make me the most popular Disney animator. Even my work was not what made me very famous. Tim was known as one of the former Disney animators of all time, while Disney was making his trust under the new leadership under the company's history. I was retiring finally, but then I had to meet Tim before making Disney animated shorts. It's been ages. Tim, my friend, had always been staying here at Disney in 1980, and during his stay at the anime studio, he had to work. He had to work as an in-betweener. He had to work as an in-betweener, an assistant animator, and a concept artist on 3 different animated projects. One of Tim's projects loved him so much that it would be great to work on. He would never be free of anything. You will be. Anyways, Tim wanted to create some movies back in the early 1980s, like The Fox and the Hound, where he had to work on Vixie and didn't really care for it because it was so boring to work on. Drawing, where he was an animator, and Tim Burton Batman. You see his shirt, he's the one who did it. Tim Burton seemed to go on Black Cauldron. Tim Burton, one of the famous concept artists, Tim Burton, created as a lot of characters each. He even worked on several character designs for each film. But after that, Tim, who worked on the animated film for years, was left isolated. Well, this sucks. I used to be so isolated at the time. I had to work with my friend Vincent Price to see if I can make something that is very similar to the Rankin Mass specials. Back in 1971, I played Iron Tail, the evil ruler of the East, but he told me that I wanted to be someone else. I won't allow Cottontail to be the new chief. I'd be a new... You, sir? Yes, years ago, a small child rolled over my tail. Since then, I have had to wear this artificial neighbor arm instead of having a nice young tail like that deer. So Tim called Vincent Price, and he said that we could do the first stop motion animated film with characters that have no faces. And there is the only character, which was about a boy who thinks he's Vincent Price. With all things said and prepared, when Tim made his first stop-motion animated project, he called it in black and white and named it Vincent. Narrated entirely by the guy himself, Andy Ryan. He likes to experiment on his dog, Abercrombie, and turn him into an audible zombie. So he and his audible zombie dog could go searching for victims. True. The animated short was played in theaters before another Disney live-action film, Tex, in 1982, and Tim Burton, along with film producer Rick Heinrichs, took on their first Oscars for an Academy Award-winning animated short. My first project had been finally made like 13 years ago. Tim was starting to imagine that he would spin his shorts into live action. And he was going to do a Japanese theme adaptation of the Brothers Grimm, one of the Brothers Grimm's fairy tales. No, 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 no. And another was called Hansel and Gretel, based on one of the Brothers Grimm's fairy tales. Tim made his first live-action short in 1983, where he worked on the visual effects and character design. Hi there! Who said that? What's the matter, little boy? Didn't you want to eat me? Who are you? Don't you kids want to see me again? I'm Dam Dam, the gingerbread man. I love the funny gingerbread man. I always made me grab the sun. Tim won another Academy Award for Best Original Live Action Short, and based on one of the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm's Hansel and Gretel in 19. Tim loved doing both animation and live action short films. That's what matters to me the most. During the early 1980s, Tim called one of his fellow artists, to do a mashup of the dog in a Frankenstein stylish look. Tim went up to do his third and final live action short, which was called Frankenweenie in 1984. Did it? Yes, I did it. I did it, man.
Is that the end of part 2? All right.
And now it's time for chapter 3. After years of working on his final project, Tim made the third live action short for his career called Frankenweenie in 1984, which was about a boy who resurrects his dog from the dead. I went back to college and saw the 1984 live action short for a celebration. I loved having a pizza party there. And I loved, and my friends even loved me so very much. Victor Frankenstein was one of my best characters that I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and his best dog named Sparky was a living dead creature. The manner creature feeling I got going here was the manner of creature feeling was unknown. Kind of relaxing I got going in there. Alive. Alright, you're alive. And it is cute. After making his animated shorts, Tim would do something else a year later in 1985. This meant that Tim would make his first 2 live action films that used stop motion animation in really cool special effects. While Tim was busy creating something else right now. You want to immediately release movies in theaters. A year later, Tim was knocked down out when he wanted to make his first feature-length live-action film, starting with the 1985 black comedy After Hours. Hey. But then he didn't want to direct it, while Martin Scorsese could do it. I couldn't think of anything to direct because I want my first feature-length live-action movie to become a phenomenon. But how? Paul Rubens. I think I've got an idea. Paul Rubens, the voice of the most iconic character, Pee Wee Herman, saw his works like Vincent and Frankenweenie and got a job to become a phenomenon in Tim's first movie in 1985, Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I loved composing the score for the 1985 film. It was amazing. Warner Brothers did that movie for another hour or so.
Let's you.
I animated a lot of different cartoony shots in Pee Wee's Big Adventure. It was a great success. I loved it and I enjoyed it so very much. Probably just a dog. Where's those headlight glasses? And when it went like this. Tim's second live-action film was Beetlejuice in 1988, where Henry Selick, the animated scary snake scene and the sandworms scene in stop-motion animation with some special effects. We come here, ladder, Jack. I love my first two live-action movies, and they both became a phenomenon, and I was so excited to let them have a very own live-action movie of some sort. I loved it, and I hated it. Beetlejuice. 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 It's showtime. On March 17th, 2014, it was announced that a sequel to the 1988 film was stuck in development hell for many weeks. And so that Johnny Depp would join the movie sequel. They're both phenomenons of both 1985 and 1988. I would better move on to make my two films include Batman and Batman Returns in both 1989 and 1992. And the only movie I ever made in 1990 was Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands was about half man and half robot with scary looking scissors for his fingertips. Tim loved my movie so much that I would voice Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, while I could do something on my new mantelpiece of some kind of live action feature film. I voiced the old inventor, who is the main villain of the feature, because Edward wanted his own arms back. And his only quotation was like, I know it may seem very different, but I got something very special to show you. Tell me, Batman, do you dream of me? Hey, no. What disgusting freak out. In 1990, Tim met a good friend of his named Henry Selick, where he wanted to make an animated feature-length project of Tim's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Thank you! And now chapter 4. I always wanted my dream to have an animated feature to have best of both holidays. The Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie that I wanted to make. I saw that one store where it had all the Halloween decorations taken down and replaced with Christmas decorations. Tim was working at Disney and finally finished Vincent. The Nightmare Before Christmas is inspired by the children's book A Visit from St. Nicholas, and specials like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It features a handful of characters I saw on the ship's screen, including Jack Skellington, the lead character in the film, is Ghost Dog Zero, Santa Claus, a hint of the evil Lock, Shock, and Barrel, and all the kids in the real world. It goes something like this. Ding, 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 ding. Now you try. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. After the highly successful sweetness of Vincent, I would have new plans to turn the movie either a children's book or a 32-minute TV special. Already making concept art and some storyboards for the project. I used to be able to create this project for the movie, and in 1984, I was fired from Disney as a born director and born leader. And I moved on with my movie career, leaving the project more as an afterthought. And I couldn't do it. somehow. So something like that. It wasn't until 6 years later, in 1990, when Tim realized that Disney has its film rights to the project. So he went up to the company and said to his friends that they would let them turn this into a full-length feature film, hoping that it would have as yet the same storytelling capabilities as Who Framed Roger Rabbit in 1988. I loved watching Roger Rabbit when I was at home on TV, and it always made me crack up the whole time. I love the cartoon rabbit so much. Tim went right to Danny Elfman, the singer and songwriter and composer, where he went while working on Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Beetlejuice. I first met Tim back in 1985, and I went and did the first 10 songs of the whole movie. And I wrote the first 10 songs as a composer. So what do you think you get bored of being a composer and being not instead? Well, I could actually see that one happen. I wanted to work on the movie, but then I wanted to make the pre-production of Ed Wood and Batman Returns. So I switched over and met my good friend of mine, Henry Selick. By the way, I may be regarding his work, and I would come 8 to 10 days during the production. I thought of the idea of making the moles and the handful of characters, but then there's Henry Selick, who would be in charge of making the whole movie. I did a few concept art and storyboards of the film, where the public ultimately decided that it's my movie. Tim didn't know that the movie was in development hell or something like that, because it wasn't development hell. I was being able to direct the whole movie because I wanted to do it. Tim already had some ideas, the story and the characters of the whole movie, and when he made a deal with the company, he needed to get the movie to go really fast in all the angles. Since the title's heading is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, I don't really care for heroin. It would have another drug overdose. I do like drug overdose. I called Tim and he said that I wanted to be the voice of singer, but unfortunately my wife was very sick and died, so I got very sad because they decided to replace me with Ed Ivory. Ed Ivory and Ken Page are the voices of Santa and Oogie Boogie Man. He's got bugs in it. His body. After the cremation of Vincent Price, Patrick Stewart did do the narration at the start of the film, but was not used in the final cut. However, they did put his recording on the opening scene in the soundtrack in the film. In the end, the film took 3 years to make. Well, film. Different scenes a lot. And a lot of people working on it simultaneously. As for the puppets used in the film, they made even 200 of them, with 3 or 4 representing the same character. There was a lot of work being made. I mean, the puppets we worked on were going to be so unique. I was the voice of Sally. I was the voice of Sally here right now. Because Jack Skellington had over 400 interchangeable heads that show a different emotion and with a different mouth position on each. I loved it. I think I enjoyed the scene of Rabbit and Winnie the Pooh getting the worms in the pretend boat. And the scene would be like this. Sometimes I hate myself. All aboard for the Greenboat Island cruise. Step lively now. Goodbye. Have a wonderful trip. You vicious vermin. Now they'll be seasick instead of lovesick. Bon voyage. The movie was supposed to be as part of its Walt Disney Animation Studios feature lineup. Even its teaser trailer shows it as part of the field of Disney animation. Michael Eisner, then president and CEO of Walt Disney Animation Studios, found that the movie was too scary for the kids, so he decided to put it under the Touchstone Pictures banner instead of putting it under the banner of Walt Disney Animation Studios. Where Eisner usually puts his movies that were more aimed for adults only. And with all things said and prepared, The Nightmare Before Christmas was released on October 29th, 1993, and it became a phenomenon. It received a critical acclaim for everyone, with critics loving its originality, creativity, and great use of stop-motion animation. As for the box office, it did do pretty well, making $50 million domestically. It even got an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, a Golden Globe for Best Original Score, and won 2 Annie Awards. The Nightmare Before Christmas was an immediate hit, and we enjoyed working on it for 8 hours. Now I have to move on, and after that to work on another stop-motion animated film, along with composer Randy Newman, based on one of the works of Roald Dahl, James and the Giant Peach. That's what I want to make. I loved The Nightmare Before Christmas, it was so moving. My heart is so moving. And I loved it. I loved it. That's what I know the most of Friends. I don't really care for The Nightmare Before Christmas because I enjoyed working on this film for 8 hours and I loved it. I hated it because I better work on my first computer animated feature, Toy Story, along with composer Randy Newman. And I absolutely love the work that's been done. Done it! Chapter 5. After the critically acclaim of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim took a break from animation while producing several live-action films. I took a break from animation and I would do live-action movies based on something else. I did the first live-action film that was about the worst director who ever lived and turned it into Ed Wood in 1994. A science fiction trading card series to turn them into an all-star comedy that is Mars Attacks in 1996. A remake of Planet of the Apes in 2001. And even 3 movies based on the books like Sleepy Hollow, Big Fish, and my adaptation of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but they're all different. Tim wanted to make an anime adaptation of the Town Musicians of Bremen with the deal of Warner Brothers and have an R rating just like Sausage Party that was released by Sony Pictures. Tim made a deal with Warner Brothers to make another animated film after The Polar Express. It's about the 19th century in Europe. You know about Victor Van Doren. He's skinny. He's putting himself in charge of course, Corpse Bride is set in the 19th century in Europe, and it takes place in the 1890s of England. Although Tim wanted to make a movie about paintings with big eyes, an Alice in Wonderland sequel, a school teacher named Miss Peregrine and her home for peculiar children, and a live-action remake of Dumbo. So he went with animator Mike Johnson to direct Corpse Bride along with him. That was what their plan was like. During the filming of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Pixar legend and storyboard artist Joe Rams presented Tim a 19th century Russian folk tale, which he loved doing an animated feature for Warner Brothers. Just like The Nightmare Before Christmas, I had to work on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and do a lot of scenes that had to be made. I mean, that's what I'm working on an animated movie for. Tim worked on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but then got a new co-director, Mike Johnson, to direct with him to do the film. Albert Finney was supposed to voice Grandpa Joe in the movie, but then it was replaced by David Kelly. Tim said they want me to direct with him, but it's too hard to explain what it is. Unaware. Albert was still in the movie as Phineas. God. Ever since I was in Sleepy Hollow, I was the only one voicing Willy Wonka, and I had to voice Victor in Corpse Bride because that's my first animated voice role in that one movie. I was the voice of the bride named Emily, and I got the second voice role to be Lane Tyington in Wallace and Gromit Across the Web. With the survival of Warner Brothers and Tim Burton at stake, Monkey Bone cinematographer Pete thought of plans to find a way to shoot stop-motion animated films digitally instead of traditionally with a 35mm camera. So after describing with the crew 2 weeks before filming began, they decided to go ahead with their plans, making this the first stop-motion animated movie that uses commercial digital still photography with the Canon EOS 1D Mark II SLR with Nikon lenses. Well, commercial. No, you're married to me. She's the other woman. I thought you so well. Sorry. This can't work. There are a few more songs as 5, such as According to Plan, Remains of the Day, Tears to Shed, Piano Duet, and The Wedding We're Going to Have. Is that stop? Was that stop motion animation? It's quite different than others. It was quite different than others. You know all about the skeletons, the folks, and the Lord Marcus Spinner, and all that stuff that's gonna be made. Oh my God, where that movie? Yeah. misery. It took a while to film, or 55 weeks, unlike the puppets that had replacement heads or mouths for the characters. But then, the new puppets had special clockwork heads controlled by hidden keys to give the movements more subtlety. Fortunately, this makes it harder for the animators, like as if stop motion alone isn't difficult enough. Even one guy had nightmares about adjusting his own facial expressions that way. Hey, how's it going? Good. Okay. Let's continue again, shall we? Speaking of the puppets, we've made several of the same characters, like Victoria, Emily, and Victoria, but even more than in The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's the second movie since then. It's been said that the puppets were moving in all angles, and it had 13 puppets each, and we were going to have the second animated movie since The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's what matters to me the most of Friends. Unfortunately, in the summer of 2005, Joe Ram passed away in a car accident. Along with Pixar's Cars, the film has been dedicated to him. I like all the Elder Goodnick scenes in that one movie. There you are. What? Yeah. It's not. No, this is my husband, Victor. Yeah. Yeah. Corpse Bride was released on September 23rd, 2005, and it ended up as a decent hit. Critics gave you positive reviews saying that it's a second Tim Burton movie. The film is whimsically macabre, visually imaginative, and emotionally bittersweet. As for the box office, the film did gross about doing the best. Decently well, with $53 million domestically, and a worldwide total of $170 million. This movie will go on to have an Alex Award for a technical achievement at the Annie Awards, and it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Feature alongside Studio Ghibli's Howl's Moving Castle, but lost to Aardman's Wallace and Gromit and Curse the Were-Rabbit. By the way, take a good look at this. There's a really good chance that this will be the first and last time you'll ever see the Best Animated Feature category to not have a single CGI animated film nominated. Done it! And now, Chapter 6. You may now kiss the bride. This business can be so tough. You know what got an Oscar for Best Animated Feature for 2005? Studio Ghibli and Aardman. Because the most important thing about getting an animated film nominated was that CGI movies had to be made. It was already impossible to be like CGI that was made in the early 2000s. When Warner Brothers kicked him out, this made him very upset. And we were the new bosses of Warner Brothers, and we wanted to do different Warner Brothers movies. We wanted to make different Warner Brothers movies because this is too long. So what did you think of a Warner Brothers movie? The things Tim wanted to do was his third and final movie. Because that was exactly what he wanted to do as a kid. This was where Tim took a break from animation while producing on several live-action films. Some are good, some are bad, some are scary, some are weird, some make a crap out of money. And like last time, in the fall of 2012, he headed into direct. He needed to direct his last animated feature. Why? Something that can blow his mind off his World Series. Tim told his crew to talk about a new animated feature to be released in the fall of 2012. They put him in the big screen and called it Franklin. As you may remember at the beginning of my career, Frankenweenie began as a 1984 live-action short which focuses on the lead characters Victor and Sparky mainly. It wasn't until late 2005 where I wanted my crew to make a remade feature-length animated version of the film. I was supposed to be hired to write the plot for the film, and they said, "You better fix that now." And so I did that. The plot for the film actually worked. I was so happy. The movie was about a young boy named Victor who would be resurrecting his dog from the dead. Tim would hire his critics and audiences so that he would do his final animated feature about the lead character in the style of the family dog from Family Dog. Oh, you're alive. Sparky, you're alive. You hear that, folks? This would be the moment that Tim had been working on for weeks. Here, boy, fetch. Whoa! I used to direct the movie because there were critics and reviewers saying, "We have to all see that movie one time. Let's go." And they were so excited to see this movie in the fall of 2012. We were very happy to see that movie. This is the first and only movie since Sleepy Hollow and Big Fish where I was not featured in it, sadly. And if he wanted me so badly, he didn't even bring me in sadly either. That's what worries me. As for all the characters used for the film, they made over 400 of them represented with the set on every camera slot. They were ready to release the film Frankenweenie on the big screen on October 5th, 2012. We made 400 puppets simultaneously. I worked very hard with my guest members. Exactly the opposite. That's exactly the opposite direction for us. Class. There were few characters that looked like in the horror movies from the 1920s up to the 1980s, where every mix of the icon would be mixed in their genres of all time. Some of these include Mr. Rzuski looking a lot like Vincent Price. Nazor looking like Boris Karloff with his Frankenstein monster who looks like his Frankenstein turned mummy hamster, which ended up as his mummy hamster, by the way. And it is cute. Toshiyaki's turtle looks like Gamera, a giant fire-breathing turtle. Oh, from Gamera, the Invisible. And Bob's sea monkeys are an homage to the Gremlins. There were some new characters that looked like this the whole time. Even like this. Mr. Burgermeister is an homage to Burgermeister Meisterburger in Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And the weird girl actually looks like the weird girl from the Children, the Oyster Stories. Mr. Whiskers? I loved the vampire cat, by the way. It made me laugh all the time. I always wanted a red scarf. After the film was released, fans were having a theory that has connected Tim's stop-motion movies that has one incredible story of a man and his undead dog. It starts with Victor and Sparky and Frankenweenie. Then Victor would grow older and find that Sparky is now a skeleton dog named Scrams. And much later, Jack Skellington had another ghost dog, which is now called Zero. hey, that's just theory. An anime theory. Tune in next time. And where Tarzan can be the long-lost brother of Anna and Elsa by connecting Frozen, Tangled, Tarzan, and the Little Mermaid. We hope you have a nice life of filming stop motion and not to be licky and grunting among us. Enjoy your stay here in Richmond, Virginia. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye. See ya. Thank you, sir. Done it.
Beautiful.